Hello, this is Mr. Painter with P7 rotations where it says graph the image. Okay, for this assignment, you're going to need a pencil and 6 sheets of square white paper. Okay, if you don't have a pencil or 6 sheets of white paper, just raise your pinky up. We'll send a TA or come around and get you these materials. All right, here's why you're going to use them. Okay, the first thing you need to do is look on your keyboard above the 7 and the 8 and locate the brightness keys. You're going to need to turn the brightness all the way up to the max in order for this to work. The idea is you take your sheet of white blank paper and you should be able to see the graph right through the paper. If you can't, the brightness is not turned up high enough. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So right here, we're going to go ahead and graph the image of J after a rotation of 270 counterclockwise around the origin. So counterclockwise here means to rotate in a direction where it goes against the clock. So in this case, it would be the top part moving towards the left. Clockwise means just to go the same direction as the hand. So we're going to go ahead and go towards where the top's going towards the right. Okay, so to make this work, you're going to take your pencil and so very carefully just barely touch the paper and draw your grid lines. Again, very, very carefully. Because if you don't do it carefully, you're responsible for any screen damage that may occur during this assignment. So here we go. Okay, and again, I'm doing it very, very lightly. So it actually, if I take it away from the paper, you can see it right here. You can see it very clearly. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to find the point that we need, and we're going to literally graph it on the paper. So notice J comes right through perfectly. So I'm going to put a point there. There's my point J. Now, the origin is the very center of the graph, located at 0, 0. So what that says is spin your sheet of paper in either direction among the origin. Okay, 270 degrees counterclockwise means we're going to rotate against the clock basically 3 quadrants around. So let's go ahead and try this. Okay, pencil very, very carefully. It's going to touch the middle of the paper, and I'm barely holding the paper. If I were to slide it back just a little bit, the paper would actually fall down. Okay, so very carefully. Again, we do not want to break any screens. Okay, now counterclockwise, here we go. If I turn it a quarter of a turn, that is counterclockwise 90 degrees. Notice here we need to go 270. So we need to go 2 more times. Okay, we're at 90 degrees there. We're going to rotate the paper carefully. That takes us to 180 degrees. And one more time counterclockwise will take our point to 270 degrees. Now notice the point is located right here. Carefully take your pencil, pull it back just a little bit, slide the paper out of the way, and notice that you should be right here. Okay, so then what you do is you can take your trackpad, put the point right where the pencil's at, and click. And you should, at that point, get it right. So we're going to go ahead and check to see if we got it. Okay, perfect. All right. To make good use of our graph paper, okay, we're going to use this multiple times. Okay, so again, very carefully, you're going to erase that point, and we're going to go ahead and do our next point of H. So here we go. H, and make sure your lines line up perfectly. H is going to be right here. Okay, pencil's going to go in the middle. I'm going to get ready to spin the paper. And notice here we're going clockwise 90 degrees. So it's just 1/4 turn clockwise. And notice here, so I'm going to very carefully make sure my lines line up. Pencil's on the point. You're going to pull back carefully on the pencil and notice that it is right there. So using one hand, I'm taking the paper away. And on the other hand, I'm using the trackpad. And there we go. We're going to click. And again, you'll get it right. Okay, so this process continues. We're going to go up to a smart score of 40 or 50 so you get the idea. Okay, so what I have done is notice I have erased both my points so we can keep using the same sheet over and over again. Okay, so here we go. We're going to line up our grid lines. So notice they should line up perfectly. We're going to go down to W and put a point right here. So now W here is going to rotate 180 degrees counterclockwise. So here we go. Counterclockwise is 90 degrees right there. Go again. 90 plus 90 is now 180, which is located up here. So notice the point's right there. I'm going to put my pencil on it. Pull back on the pencil very carefully. And notice our point should go right there. So I'm going to take my mouse. Click there. And there we go. All right, let's go ahead and make this our last one. You kind of get in the concept. So again, it's always going to be clockwise or counterclockwise. There's no other direction to go. Okay, I'm going to take my point and go ahead and erase it. And the reason why you have 6 sheets of paper is once your paper gets too many points on it, feel free to use another one so you don't mix yourself up. And actually, I'm going to use another quadrant here. So this page is clear. So I'm going to be barely on the paper here. So there's A. Okay, so very carefully, I'm going to go on the origin, getting ready to spin the paper 180 degrees clockwise. So here we go. Clockwise is now 90 degrees. 90 plus 90 will take us to 180, which will land right up here. Take the paper away. Click on it. And voila, there you go. This concludes your tutorial for P7 rotations on graphing the image.